Hi, Bill Edstrom here. Now I wanted to show you how I use Izotope RX to fix things in the real world. Occasionally something goes wrong when you're recording videos, and I do a lot of tutorial videos, and sometimes I record using Screenflow. Well, I used an audio interface and there was something a little amiss with the audio interface. Sometimes with USB interfaces you get a lot of crackle. Well, the problem I had was I had a mismatch between the firmware in the interface and the actual version of the driver. I didn't realize it at the time that it's full of pops and clicks. And so just take a listen here. I'm going to show you how I save this without having to redo this video using Izotope RX, but vice versa. So we're just going to start here and go through what all the features, identify what everything are, and I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks. All right, so you can hear all that low-level crackle. And so the topic of this video tutorial is universal control. This is for the Studio Live AI series boards. And so I'm working on this. This will be coming out in a few weeks from Groove 3. So I want to save this particular video. And so the way I'm going to do it, first of all, I'm going to export the audio. And there's a feature right in ScreenFlow to do this. So you just go right here to export. What I'm going to do is choose lossless audio. Normally you would choose something like Web High or one of my customized settings for creating commercial screencasts for Groove 3. But in this particular case, I'm just going to choose lossless audio. So I'll be able to export my audio track as AIFF, which is very similar to a WAV file. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to send it to the desktop. So I'm going to just go ahead and replace that. And then after this is finished exporting, then we're going to open RX and very quickly you'll see fix that issue. So with that done, I'm going to go ahead and open RX. So we'll just type RX here, Izotope RX, and we'll load the RX program. So this is the full version of RX. And then let's find the audio file. So we'll just go to File, Open. And then on the desktop, here's the exported audio track from my video. Now, as soon as I have it in here, I should be able to hear it. Hi, and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk about the FAT channel, the VSL FAT channel. So you hear all the clicking that's in that audio. So what I'm going to do is take a little section of it. Now, in RX, we can loop the audio. So I'm just going to select a little section here and just make sure I've got looping turned on so that we can preview it before we do the whole file. The FAT channel we'll take a little bit less of it. The FAT channel that's directly on the board. But all right, with that selected, I'm going to go ahead and open the Declick Decrackle tool. And then that opens this dialog. The algorithm you can choose here between single band and then high band for periodic clicks or random clicks. Well, my clicks are fairly consistent, and I think that I'll just leave this at the default. And then the clicks are of the style click. You can also take out thumps, which would be low frequency, or this sort of discontinuity type. But really what we've got is a pretty standard click. So let's just preview and see how that works. A mirror image of the FAT channel that's directly on the board, but it has a few things you can do on this FAT channel that you can't do directly on the board, and vice versa. So we're just going to start here and go through what all the features, identify what everything are, and I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks along the way. All right, so that worked. You can hear maybe just a little bit of artifacts from the removal. So I'm going to just turn the sensitivity lower and see if that changes it. A mirror image of the FAT channel that's directly on the board, but it has a few things you can do on this FAT channel that you can't do directly on the board, and vice versa. So the way that it works in RX is that the lower the sensitivity, the less processing it does, at least for this particular tool. So I'm going to take it down even more because it was effectively reducing my clicks. So I'm going to take it all the way down to 1 and then preview it. A mirror image of the FAT channel that's directly on the board, but it has a few things you can do on this FAT channel that you can't do directly on the board, and vice versa. So we're just going to start here and go through what all the features, identify what everything are, and I'm going to show you a few tips and tricks along the way. So that seems to be taking it out pretty well. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to back off the tool here and go and just select all of my audio, go back into the Decrackle tool, and then we're going to apply it with sensitivity set all the way to 1. So I'll just hit process, and then it runs through here. It'll run the declick process. And now that we've done that, let's play it back. Hi, and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk about the FAT channel, the VSL FAT channel. it really is a mirror image of the fat channel that's directly on the board, but it has a few things you can do on this fat channel that you can't. Now, largely, I think I've repaired that audio. So we're going to go ahead and close this. And it says that we've changed it. Do you want to save the changes? So it's creating a back for the original and it's saving the file. Now over here, there's sort of a browser area in Screenflow. So I'm going to load this into the media area, and it says right here, add media. So we click that. I'll look back here on my desktop for media. Here's my file. And there it is. So basically what I'm going to do is replace this audio track. So we'll just pull this up a little bit to give us some room. And I'll just go ahead and drag this over. I'll just put it on a new track. And then I'm going to drag this track up right on top of the other one and make sure they're lined up. So I'll just zoom in here and see if the waveforms look aligned. And they do indeed. So I'm going to take the clicky one here and go into the audio property. So I'll select this waveform and then just mute that audio and back up and see how it works. I'm going to talk about the fat channel, the VSL fat channel. It really is a mirror image of the fat channel that's directly on the board, but it has a few things you can do on this fat channel that you can't do directly on the board. All right, so that's how you do it. I've now replaced that audio. I could go ahead and delete this track if I want to, but I'll probably just leave it in here, go ahead, do my editing, and I can move on with my work. So that's a real world example of using RX to remove clicks in a take and saving the take, which will save me a lot of time over having to redo this entire video take. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.